Storm tearing across America, and the Republican Party shows no sign of letting up. Donald Trump seems to be rewriting the campaign rules every day. Veteran analyst Dick Morris weighs in on his possible successes. You could say there needs to be a rewriting of Mexican government prison rules. Then again, in light of El Chapo escaping for a second time, one wonders if there were any rules in the first place. And while Iran and America have been dancing for months over the nuclear deal, there is no one happier to turn the music up and enjoy the fallout than the bare-chested Russian dictator. Crank up the volume, tear off the knob. I'm Ed Berliner. This is The Hardline for Monday, July 13th, 2015.
We have a president who honestly is not a negotiator. I don't want him negotiating for me. Everything he makes bad deals. He doesn't know what a good deal is. He's a terrible negotiator. Some people would say he's incompetent. I would not say that. Yes, I would.
The bombastic Mr. Trump remains the focal point of everything political at the moment. Those other Republican POTUS candidates can only sit back and surrender because even when he's made fun of, criticized, hammered at for his opinions, the Donald stands tall and very loud. Is it perhaps a sign that Trump is rewriting the rules of this campaign and has to be taken more than just a little seriously? Our guest has seen it all, covering politics inside the Beltway, veteran analyst, commentator, and co-author of the bestseller Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Let's welcome back Dick Morris. All right, Dick, let's go ahead and get into it because all weekend long it is Donald Trump. He is running things. He is in charge at the moment. Do you think that there are really POTUS candidates on the right who fear him?
Yeah, I think everybody does. I think some are afraid that he'll beat him, others are afraid to criticize him. I think the thing you have to do to understand Donald Trump is to start with the understanding that there's this massive, frothing, angry feeling among particularly Republican voters that we won the election of 2000, we won the election of 04, we won the election of 10, we won the election of 14, and what do we have to show for it? Roberts, who votes for Obamacare, the Republicans who give the president more power to conclude treaties. Now he's changed everything so that the Iran treaty doesn't have to get a two-thirds majority to be approved. It needs to get one-third in order to get approved. They're given away while we control the Senate. And people are saying if we win, we want at least to win something. We want to have something to show for it. With Trump, what you see is what you get.
Isn't it just possible that he has hit a nerve with the American public right now? Because no matter how he says it, it is still immigration. This country is still upset about it. A majority of people want it changed, and at least he's pushing it forward, forcing the others on the right to address it and do something about it.
Yeah, I think he's done a very good job on that, but I think it'll expand to other issues as well. Let's remember the history of Ross Perot, who ran as a third candidate, won 19% of the vote, advocated balancing the budget. And you know what? He lost, but 4 years later it was balanced. The debt was ended. The debt began to drop. A candidate like Trump really can transform the political dialogue, and I think that's definitely what he's doing.
With regard then to the possibilities of winning, Dick, let's face it, it wasn't that long ago when no one saw Donald Trump as any sort of a danger whatsoever. He's up at the top of the polls right now. He's saying the right things, but there's still a number of studies that come out and say that he could not win the presidency. Then again, they probably told us a while ago he couldn't get involved and couldn't be up near the top of the polls either.
Ed, you're wrong about that. He's not saying the right things. He's saying the wrong things, but it works.
Well, but he's saying the right things what the American people want to hear. The American people want to hear that. Right. That's just it. He's saying the things that a lot of people want to hear. Look at how many people he got out in Arizona. They're all coming out for him right now.
Absolutely.
So in your opinion, is there any possibility whatsoever that Donald Trump could win the presidency?
Well, yeah, sure there is. A guy of his stature and his intellect and his resources, you'd always have to say there's a chance. But I think what's interesting now is to look at the parallel nature of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. They wouldn't agree on anything, but they are both doing very well in their respective primaries because people are fed up with the standard Boehner, McConnell, Reid, Pelosi politician who says one thing and then sells it out even as they're saying it. They want somebody who has an opinion and hangs in there and does it. And whether it's the left with Sanders or the right with Trump, they're both striking a really important nerve, and it's called authenticity.
So who then on the right, Nick, do you see out of all these other candidates out there, who is, in your opinion, the most authentic individual that can challenge Trump?
Well, I think that you've got three main Republican alternatives to Bush: Walker, Cruz, and Rubio. Huckabee also. I don't think Rand Paul can, and I don't think Christie or the rest of them can. I think that Walker has an incredible record, and Cruz has shown a consistency in his conservatism. But, you know, we don't know a lot about these candidates, and we have to watch them develop. The one who I think is least authentic in that field is Bush. When I look at the rise of Hillary Clinton, and before that the rise of Bill Clinton, I realize that it is the Bush family that has done more to facilitate that than anybody else in the country.
Let's talk about Scott Walker, because there is a thinking process from his people that they are gambling everything on Iowa, and he's doing very well in Iowa. But on the day that he announces he's going to run for president, the president of the AFL-CIO, Richard Trumka, says very succinctly, Scott Walker is a national disgrace. Look, you knew the unions were going to come after him no matter what. That was already a given. So let's take that and just put it into the mix. Is Scott Walker somebody who's getting in at the right time, and does he have enough charisma to get that message out there?
Oh, I think he does. And I think he, in particular, could be the Republican answer to the gender gap. The gender gap was caused by abortion. It surfaced right after Roe v. Wade. But it's no longer mainly about that. It's about income inequality, and it's about education. And the Democratic Party has mortgaged its education position to the teachers' unions. Hillary used to oppose the teachers' unions in Arkansas. They never endorsed Bill because she wanted testing for teachers. Now she's just sold that position out and will do anything for their endorsement, which she got. Voters, and women in particular, understand that the Democratic Party values teachers more than they value parents and students. And that's the position that I think he can hammer home, and I think he can shake loose women voters who otherwise would vote Democratic.
What about people like Ben Carson, Carly Fiorina, and I'm even going to throw Nikki Haley in here, who recently, because of what happened with the Confederate flag in South Carolina, I think it took about 8 seconds for someone to say, oh, look, maybe she would be a perfect vice presidential candidate. So as you look at this second tier right now, do you see any of them as potential running mate material, really good running mate material?
I felt for some time that Haley is potential running mate material. I think she could be superb. And I think it would be a very good idea to nominate a woman when you're facing Hillary on the other ticket. In terms of Carson and Fiorini, they have Carson, he has never run for office. And I know Hillary Clinton so well, and you do not want to send a Golden Gloves fighter, even a Golden Gloves champion, into the ring against Muhammad Ali.
Is that the thing, though, about Carson? While he is a brilliant man and a brilliant surgeon, he just sometimes is so soft-spoken that perhaps he needs to be much more aggressive, and it just isn't necessarily in the man's nature.
I think that's a big part of it. I was always frustrated with John McCain with that in mind. But the main thing is that I can't walk into a neurosurgery operating room and do very well. And I don't think he can walk into being a nominee for president and run very well. Amateurs make all sorts of mistakes, and pros like Hillary Clinton live off them. And the future of our country is at stake, and we don't want to take that gamble.
I got about 30 seconds left here real quick. Ted Cruz is one I did want to bring up to you. He is so bombastic and he is so straightforward in what he wants. Do you think he would ever, maybe in his mind, acquiesce to a runner-up position, that VP?
No. No, I think Cruz has an excellent chance of winning it all. The big thing that Cruz has that nobody else has is that he has been conservative on everything. There are times when Walker has been pro-immigration and Bush and Rubio. There are times when Bush has been for Common Core and stuff like that. But Ted Cruz has always adopted the conservative line on everything, from gun control to Patriot Act to national defense, the whole bit.
And
he's a consistent conservative.
Very, very popular. Want to remind people of something else very popular. Power Grab, Obama's dangerous plan for a one-party nation. Make sure you get your copy at powergrab411.com.